what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on. The total crypto market cap's up to 995 billion. It was up 6.36% today. The daily close is at 7 p.m., so 2 minutes. We're up on this major, and on my chart, of course, this is my chart, so if it's not your chart, it's obviously going to be different for interpretation, but I have a very key level up here at about the 1 trillion mark, and that's the top of this cup and handle. But I would expect if this is going to maintain a bullishness, and it doesn't have to do this, and obviously it's up to interpretation for how you individually see it. I can't change your mind. Typically, you would get some kind of consolidation and a reroute back up, but that doesn't mean that it can't do this, consolidate down, and then bounce back up as well. So I'd be looking to break out of that 1 trillion line, that downtrending resistance. That's what I'm looking at right now. I think it's a very nice look at the actual chart. I think we can take away some of this noise now that we actually broke to this side, just so we can clean it up a little bit. So, just so it's a little easier to see, right now I'm paying attention very carefully to this 1 trillion line. With this massive flag here, though, I mean, it would almost seem like if we can break this cup and handle here, looks like a little W reversal. If we can get up here, and this is more than just a wick for the weekend, and we can hold this 997 on the top side once we get over, and then start kind of trending down to 993 at minimum, I mean at max, then you can have a nice parabolic bounce off of here and try to push. It's not even parabolic, but it's a nice push up to the 113. Other than that, we do have a few things working against us in the current side of the pattern. But if we can break out past these two levels especially, it definitely helps us in the time going forward. With Bitcoin, we've got this downtrending resistance that we're getting very dangerously close to. We've held to 20,413. And it does depend whether or not it's on today's candle, tomorrow's candle, because every day, you know, it comes down a little bit. Or every 4-hour candle, it moves a little bit. So as of right now, if it were to push up, we've got a very heavy resistance here. On my chart, everybody else's is their own interpretation. 23,250 approximately. I think I'd rather do 23,000. We'll do 23,350. Let's see if we can get over 23,350. That's that major downtrending resistance that we talked about a few days ago. And it's the wider part of the pattern. And then if we break above that, we've obviously got up here. We can look at a major area around 26.2. But that's to be determined. That's determined by if we can break out of this particular spot in the pattern. But as of right now, it looks like we need to extend out just a little bit more. Unless, like I said, the market's trying to play with us. It's Friday. We have a futures shortened weekend because the futures market is closed now. And now going into the weekend, you know, when the DXY is offline, commodities are offline, government bonds you don't have to worry about. They're not going up and down like crazy. We'll see what happens. The last few weekends we've been pretty flat, but this weekend, you never know. You never know what can happen here. Now that we broke to the top side, we'll see if we can break this downtrending resistance. If so, I would be very cautiously looking at the next levels above. It's not just straight to 26.2. There's a few levels in between. But I'm looking at this downtrending resistance to see what we do and how we react to it now. We haven't had huge volume spikes, but we've had enough to push us up without the sell volume here in the last few 4-hour candles. So we're 100% going to see how it plays out. Just remember, we've got coming up on the 31st, we've got multiple layers on the 31st. We've got USDT or Tether being delisted in many exchanges in Canada on the 31st. And then we've also got the Fed meeting where they're going to raise rates again. And we're going to see if it's going to be 50 or 75. Some are saying 25 basis points. I find it hard to believe it's only going to be 25. But they very well could set the market up for that. But if we slow play this, it's going to end up hyperinflation. And then this is going to be even worse than we could have ever expected. So now that we've talked about Bitcoin, we've talked about the total crypto market cap, I want to quickly look into XRP. See exactly what we're looking at here. For the time being, we broke out of this short-term move right here, this ascending triangle that I created from the 10th. just so we could see if we could break out and at least try to build the first step of momentum up to about 45 cents. There are many levels in between. We'd have to look about the 424. There's the 436 or 438, depending on how you're looking at your chart. But my next major area would be this play in here. And yeah, some people don't say it's a bull flag. I'm just calling it for what I'm looking at. This is an overextension of the downtrending support, uptrending resistance, broke out in a fashion, stayed in here, but it ended up breaking down. Now I'm looking at a retest of that flag. Call it whatever the hell you want. Doesn't bother me what you want to call it. The point is that's the pattern formation. Whether you want to call it a bull flag or whatever tickles your fancy, I'm not your parent. I'm not going to tell you exactly what to call your own pattern formations. I'm just going to call it the way I see it. I'm not the smartest person, but I do have a pretty damn good grasp on what I'm seeing. The one thing I will say, and I've been saying, if this plays out in a mass pattern, it can go all the way up to here to 80 cents, roughly. So forget the 45 cents. If this wants to play out in a massive W reversal, which, like I've said from the start, I think it's going to be very hard to get there, but it's not off the table. So I've continued to say for the last over a year, when we broke 30 cents, I told you, I will never, ever, ever tell anybody when to buy again because of the mistreatment I took on the way down from $1.66 to sub 52 cents. So once it went sub 30 cents, I said, you're on your own. You'll see when I make purchases, but in no way will I ever tell anybody to buy again because of the amount of abuse I took on YouTube. And I've stuck to that. I've been saying for well over a year, sub 40 cents is a good buy. Did you buy any? In the comments, did you buy any sub 40 cents? Or are you looking to cast stones because it's over 40 cents again and now it's, oh my God. Over a year, even now, when it was at $1.66 when I liquidated, it was $16,660 to buy 10,000 shares. Now you get a $12,500 savings. Are you buying anything? Are you just looking to blame somebody? Or are you actually doing this with the right process and you're building within your own budget in either a monthly fashion, you have a set plan, or do you understand what's going on, or are you just trying to throw dead money because of what other people are saying? Because in no way am I trying to tell you whether to buy or sell. I'm trying to give you every single day the setup of the market so you can make an educated and informed decision. The only thing I've shown with this pattern, that's not the ultimate level of 40 cents. Never claim this is the ultimate level. What I have said, though, is this is a major level, a good pivot level here with the pattern formation at 40 cents, to where if we held that in time, in a shorter time frame, we could possibly run up to 45 cents. Again, in no way did I say that was the next level of resistance. To me, that's the next major pattern formation. Like I've said, you can look at the 426 or 428 level. You can look at the 436. Hell, you can also look at the 442 if you want. We can go from 1 year to 15 years out if we want. I'm looking at the immediate short-term pattern here. And once we break that, we'll contend with the next one. But right now, we broke the symmetrical triangle, broke up, formed a newly created ascending triangle on January 10th approximately. And now we broke out of that short term so far. So we'll see what happens. If we can continue this momentum, I have no doubt that 45 cents is in the near future. Now, obviously, you can get rejected at the 426, the 438, or if you want to look at the 442, it's up to you. These are smaller levels that can absolutely be pattern resistance. And to me, that would just act as a wick. These would be fake wicks up, get rejected at these levels, and then come back within and break down. But I've circled up there for a reason, and that's been circled for a while. If you're following every one of my updates, you're more than ahead. But you have to have the balls to buy if you want to buy. I'm not going to tell you to buy. I refuse to do it. I'm not a financial advisor. So, if you're expecting me to tell you when to buy, it's going to cost a hell of a lot more than $9.99 a month if you want me to put my my livelihood on the line to where you can personally sue me. I went this route one time when I was building everybody up in 2021. It was a fantastic thing. We started at 42 cents. We bought some at 38. We bought some at 47, 50, 58, 65. Told everybody not to sell until the bull market was complete. Everybody was loving it. Then when I told everybody to sell it all and that half my audience left, I got bashed and beaten into a brick wall. I was called names that you could never imagine. And for what? I'm putting out free content that helps somebody make $10,000 to $15,000 in, 2 months? I did. I only had $3,500 capital. Turned it in over $15,500. So, but in that time in 2021, it taught me no matter what you do, no good deed goes unturned. And what I mean by that is there's always going to be somebody out there that tries to bring you down. So you have to grow. You have to learn to not deal with emotion. And that's exactly what I've done. 2022 taught me there's a lot of real pieces of shit out there. Forget the fact that I predicted the drop. Forget the fact that I told everybody sub 52 cents, sub 40, and sub 30 was coming. Everybody wants to hang on to the fact that I'm looking for sub 20 cents. Even though I've been clear as fucking day, anything under sub 40 cents for the last year is a good buy. At 30 cents, I in fact bought. I sold it at 42.5. Nobody bought it with me. Everybody was still blaming me that they weren't in XRP even though I had bought back. That's the hypocrisy. And then and only then did I truly learn it doesn't matter what I do or what I say. I just have to be true with my content. And the good ones will find it. The ones who want to cast stones will get left behind. And in 2025, I already know it's going to be a select small group that'll be here with me. I can see it. The writing's on the wall. So the ones who continue to believe, the ones who continue to come here every day to understand the pattern formations, I'm not going to tickle your balls. I'm not going to grab your dick and insert you into the proper position. I'm not going to pull your car into the garage for you. What I am going to do is teach you how to navigate properly so you don't end up with a big mess. And if you pay attention and you don't cast stones, you're going to learn a great deal. If you use your emotions to try to make a point or to try to piss me off, slowly but surely a little piece of me dies every day when I get that unfair treatment. I'm very strong, so I'll be here every single day. But what you start to see is a little less of me in the outside settings. I become more of the boss, more of the teacher, and not the friend. There's a very big audience here. Only a select few have even ever talked to me on the phone. That's by design. I used to be very open with my phone calls. That had to change after 2021. I still was very lenient through mid-2022. That had to change after I seen the unfair treatment I got. Now I'm here for each and every one of you who wants to progress, who wants to make a real change, and who wants to understand these charts. But once again, if you're watching me just so I can grab your dick and tell you when to buy, you might as well go somewhere else. If you're paying $9.99 for my Telegram, and you think that entitles you not to watch my updates and just go in there and ask questions because you don't want to watch my content, you're doing it the wrong way. I created the Telegram not so I could be in there guiding everybody. I created the Telegram because 157 people at the time had joined Tom's army, and I felt like it was something I needed to do. I got the whole community together, but no matter what I do, I always fall short in someone's eyes. So I've just stayed true to my craft. I stayed true to what I'm trying to do. And if you can't get with that, get the fuck out. Because I don't need people that are going to take my good energy. I also don't need people that are going to leave their excrement on the rest of the community because they made mistakes, they feel sorry for plays they didn't make, or they just are looking to blame somebody. So that is my passionate plea to each and every one of you. Do this right. Do it right. Those are a few things I'm not going to do. What I will do is tell you exactly what I see in the charts each and every day in a non-biased way. I'll find a way to navigate through the news without forcing me to make an emotional update and showing you the improper technicals. I believe my technicals are on par. Even when I don't show you the in-between levels right now, because I firmly believe these are the only two things we need to pay attention to. Yes, I've already said we can get a rejection at 426 or 428, 436, 442. I mean, you can take trend lines from anywhere to fit your motivation or to fit your fancy. My fancy for me is I want to see how we react to this 45 cents if we get up there. But if it's over here, it's about the 44 cents. A little bit farther, we can be 45 cents. So obviously the 44 cents is a very big level here, 442 like I was saying. And then the 45 cent becomes a big level as well. And that's just what I see. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you want to show me support, look in the video description below. Very few people these days do show that support. I couldn't even tell you the last time I had a donation. Oh, actually, no, I can tell you. 2 days ago. If you want to join Tom's army, feel free. If you want to join the exchanges that I use, I'm not getting paid by the exchanges, but I tell you because these are the exchanges I use, and I would think that you'd want to be using what I'm using because I've navigated the system. I use MEXC, I use BITGET for no spot fees, period. On buy and sells. I use UPHOLD because I feel safer keeping my capital in there, period. They're Web3 enabled, they've complied with the US tax code now, so I feel more comfortable. Hit that motherfucking like button, and if you want to be on this real journey, you'll be here. If not, a lot of sleazeballs you can